Queens, we are back. And today we are talking about maturity and mastery, flourishing and confidence. I'm super excited about this episode because all of the words are giving level up, right? And so lately I have been connecting with so many women that are in the phase that they are ready to level up. And the part that I figure out about leveling up is that it's literally like the song says, it's levels to leveling up, right? And so today we're talking about maturity and mastery. And so let's start off with the concept of maturity, okay? When you're in a space of growing your confidence, maturity is not only in reference to who you are as an individual, but it's also in reference to your level of confidence, right? So let's start off with who you are as an individual. Again, as I referenced in my previous video, when I was working at CarMax, when I first started there, I was only 21. I was not that mature. And of course, all 21-year-olds think that they're mature, but by the time you're 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and I name all of these ages because I've worked with women all the way up into their 50s and 60s, right? Clients, grown women, doctors who have worked with me at a higher level of maturity in their life. And what I found is that gaining true, authentic confidence is still something that you can need to work on even as you're in a higher age in life, right? And it's through the journey of life as you become more mature as an individual that you gain more clarity of who you are, and that correlates directly into how you show up confidently, right? Oftentimes, you think if you just had the blueprint, if somebody just told you how to make all the money, if they just told you how to build a successful business, that you would just do it. But that's not the case majority of the time, because behind the business, behind the growth, behind the promotion is the brand. It's who you are individually. You will only mature individually as you grow day by day, step by step, right? And what I want you to see and understand is that you're really mastering yourself. Okay. As you grow, as you take the small steps every single day, that's how you become the master. Okay. It's the mastering of yourself, the getting better at regulating your emotions, the getting better at building your discipline, the getting better at showing yourself love, the getting better at stepping up and leading yourself, right? It's self mastery that truly starts with you, right? It's you, it's the maturity within you. And it's so easy when we are growing, when we are developing, to turn and point our finger at one person. But you know the saying, while you're pointing one finger at others, you have these three pointed back at you. So I want you to ask yourself, how have you matured, right, over the past 5 years? How have you been mastering yourself over the past 5 years? Five is just a number, but I really just want you to think, take a step, take a time to stop and think, how have I truly matured? Who was I before when I was the immature version of me, right? Who am I now that I am mature? Who am I striving to be, right? How have I mastered myself? Again, when I think about myself and I think about my personal brand, I run into so many people who I work with at CarMax who be like, oh my gosh, Breye'l, you have matured so much. And it's not even that I was like super immature. It's just they see the woman that I am growing into, that I have developed to be. And it's such a high vibrational frequency, such a drastic change from not only who they saw that I was, but who they possibly thought that I would have grown to be. And that's another part of the maturity and the self mastery, is that you have to see this image of you now. You have to see the image of you in the future, who you want to be, not the image that your mom has put on you, not the image that your dad, your sister, your brother, your co-workers, your previous co-workers, your significant other. You have to see maturity and mastery of yourself in the image of who you see yourself as, right? But again, that's going to require you to bring clarity upon yourself about the authentic version of you. Who is it that you want to be, right? I think about when I first started business, and when I first really got into business is when I ran into Dave Ramsey, where Dave Ramsey talked about how you could become a financial coach, right? How you can gain financial freedom, but by becoming a financial coach. And so I knew at that point in time, I had just got my finances together. About 3 or 4 years before that, like I had my car up for repossession. I felt guilty. I felt shameful. Like I didn't know how to manage my money. And then once I got myself on track, and I ran into Dave Ramsey, I knew that I can help other women with the same problem that I face. So I thought at first I wanted to become a financial coach, right? Then as I mature, as I gained mastery of myself, of my craft, as I took the time to truly understand how I was helping individuals, years later, I've come to recognize that the true coach, how I truly help individuals when we work together in my group coaching programs and my one on one, it's I help you gain the confidence. I help you grow your confidence in seeing and gaining more clarity about the authentic version of yourself. That's how I was able to gain more mastery about who I was. But it took me taking the time to develop my own maturity and see how it is that I mature over the last years. And from that, I recognize that the true maturity that I had was confidence in me knowing and recognizing that I can become a higher version of myself. So now I help you become a higher, more confident, authentic version of yourself as well. So this leads me to the point where as you start flourishing in confidence, it's going to be time for you even the more to step up and lead. That's what a mature individual does. They lead. Right? A master steps up and lead. You have so many experiences that you have, examples, stories that you can share as you are growing inside of your purpose, as you are developing yourself at your job, as you are making higher levels of building engagement with yourself and others, right? But you know you want to step up and lead, but you're probably asking yourself, how can I do that in an authentic way? You have to take the time to really figure out within yourself, who are you authentically? How do you want to lead? You have some people who are leaders by like being dictators. You have some people who are leaders by giving gifts. You have some people who are leaders by showing action and taking action themselves, leading by example, right? What kind of leader can you be? How do you step up? When you do step up, what does that look like, right? In the previous episode, we talked about assertiveness. How are you when you step up and lead? What kind of master are you? Do you lead with aggression? Do you lead with kindness? Do you lead with caring? A big part of that is going to be gaining clarity by letting your fears dissolve, right? It makes me think about, again, like right here behind me, when you see the waves, you can see how the waves, before they dissolve right there on the sand, the waves are bigger, the water is deeper, right? That's the maturity, that's the mastery. But the ocean has mastered itself that it won't come up over the land. Now, of course, if a hurricane, that's totally a different story. But on a normal basis, the ocean is so mature. The ocean is such a master of itself that by the time it gets to the sand, it has dissolved enough to have control of the situation. It's flourishing. We are confident when we go to the ocean that it will not overcome us on a random day, right? So, how can you let your fears dissolve? How can you be like a fish or a crab or a shark at sea going out and exploring, right? How can you be mature enough to step out into those deep waters, step into your calling, step up and lead, go out there? It reminds me of like turtles or again crabs when they first hatch in the sand and then they have to go to that big ocean. Somebody has to lead the wave, right? Now is the time for you to lead the wave. And I know you want to lead the wave. You just have to do it authentically. You have to do it confidently. And that true confidence comes from you relaxing and stepping into a space where you know that you have previous examples, you have previous life lessons that you've been through that can help lead you and guide you to where it is that you want to go. You just got to relax, right? There's a saying that says, your ship's coming on a calm sea. Imagine again if the ocean behind us in the picture, if it was like going crazy. Ships could not come in on that sea, right? If inside of your mind your thoughts are going crazy, if inside of your mind your feelings are going crazy, if inside of your mind you cannot control how it is that you feel about your past, it's going to be very hard for your ships to come in. It's going to be very hard for your promotions to come. It's going to be very hard for you to accomplish your goals. It's going to be very hard for you to step up in front of the camera and speak about the things that you are very purposeful about, because your ships need to come in on a calm sea. So you need to relax, right? As we talked about in the previous episodes, relaxing is easier when you're like in that childlike demeanor, when you're happy, when you're joyful, when you are open and optimistic to new opportunities coming to you, to new relationships coming to you, to new situations coming and connecting to you. That happens when you are in a space of recognizing that when in relaxation mode is when new thoughts come, right? It reminds me of like going to the beach again, just like in this background that I have, or even when I moved to Belize, I was able to relax so much more and have new opportunities come to me, new thoughts come to me that I could act upon. But when I was inside of a space, and when my husband and I were inside of a space where we were traveling a lot, on the go, waking up every day, just going, 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 it was hard for me to let my fears dissolve and relax. So I was kind of uptight about how it is that I would go from one part of where I was to the next part of where I was, right? So I'm not sure who this message is for. And if the message is for you to relax, put relax in the comment section, right? If you know it's time for you to take a break, if you know it's time for you to take a break, the master needs a break. So that way you can really think about how far you've come. That way you can really think about all of the goodness that you want to be attracted to you now and in the future. If you know it's time for you to be inside of a space where you say, okay, I've done enough. And the only thing I can do right now is lay out on this beach and allow my fears to dissolve, the same way the ripples and the waves dissolve onto the water, onto the sands. If it's time for you to know that it's going to be from relaxing that you will easily be able to step up and lead, put relax in the comment section, right? Or if you know that you've already relaxed, you've already let the fears dissolve, and now you're really ready to step up and lead, put step up and lead in the comment section, right? That means that you're ready to take the actions. That means that you've been from relaxation mode and now you're ready to put the action plans into put the steps in of the action plan into action. It reminds me of our episode called Toddler Triumphs, right? Taking steps towards confidence. You have levels in life. Sometimes you're on go mode, sometimes you're on pause. It's just like a car. The same way you have the gas, and that gas is important, it's the same way you have the brake, right? It's sometimes you are stopping, sometimes you're going. And a mature person, right? A person who is mastering themselves, recognize that life is about finding a balance between the two. I was going to say trying to find a balance, but it's really about just finding that balance, going with the ebbs and the flows of life, right? One minute you'll be up, one minute you're down. One minute it's paradise, next minute it's a true hurricane. But managing your emotions and managing your feelings is what a true master does, what a true mature person does, right? And as you flourish in your confidence, as you recognize, just like in the garden, sometimes you'll grow things and other times things will die. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes it's time for a harvest, other times it's time to put in that work and plant those seeds. Go out there in that sun and water that garden. Speaking of watering gardens, I need to water my garden outside right now, okay? Because it's really hot outside today. So, speaking of that, I'm actually going to end the video right here so that way I can go outside and water my plants. And watering my plants also means taking the time to water myself. I actually have a new season coming out, right? And in that new season, we are going to be talking about growing and growth in the metaphor of growing inside of the garden. And I personally love gardening. So let me know in the comment section below, are you stepping up and leading? Are you letting your fears dissolve? Or are you in relaxation mode? I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, if you are interested in joining inside the book club, put book club in the comment section and I'll send you the link to apply. Until next time, Queen, talk to you later.